We have now moved on to the third wine.
Mm-hmm. How many are there altogether?
3, don't worry.
Oh, really?
This is,
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I know. But don't worry, we have leftovers and you can like stay around, and that's actually when I probably eat everything. So yeah.
Cool.
And the third wine, well, I had to choose, again, it links into your career and personality. It's called Main Road and Dignity, which of course immediately springs to mind when thinking of Giles Coren.
Why?
No, it doesn't. I was
fine,
being
okay.
facetious, but
Never live within sight of the main road. My father-in-law's advice to me.
Really?
Yeah, never buy a house with a view of the main road.
Okay.
Well, you've done that.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking, you don't take the main roads in life. Like, you've kind of carved your own
Do I
path.
not? Do I slip up the back passages?
No, like you're kind of multifaceted.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like, I would consider myself
And
not
I
taking
have
the main
dignity.
road either. So, and well, that was where I was like, but no, I've chosen this because I know that you love your claret, you love your Cabernet. This is actually a really beautiful Cabernet Sauvignon, but from South Africa, because I feel like we should go to the New World now. And it's from Hemel and Aarde, which translates as heaven on earth, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's south of Cape Town, and when you're driving through, it's a bit like you're going through like the Scottish Highlands / Teletubby land, because like there's like all these like wonderful rolling hills, and you're really near the coast. And actually, these vineyards are only about 5 kilometers away from the ocean. Why is that important? Talking about climate change again. Most people, when they think of South African wine, they think of really big Cabernet or big Pinotage, big reds. Whereas the guy here was like, he loves his claret and loves his Bordeaux. And he's very much wanting to do a homage almost to like Saint Estèphe or kind of those like kind of very classic Bordeaux styles, but from South African soil. And he has had a really interesting career. He was in TV production before, did a lot of stuff in media, also like race cars, really cool. And he now works with his wife, like you. He used to be a model, interior designer, and she's now
like me.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
And
is he very handsome?
She was a model.
Oh, I see.
He was in production. He was in media production.
Oh, he's rich and she's beautiful. Got it.
And very creative. And I've actually been to their house in Hemel and Aarde, which is heaven on earth. They have a lovely dog too. And I did like a wine tasting with them. And they're an amazing couple who work together. She's the manager. He's the winemaker. He's been doing this now for about 20 years. But when he first started planting these grapes back in 1999, people were like, it's too cold. Like, this is not what South Africa is known for. We're only 5 kilometers away from the ocean. You're crazy. But actually, he's now Craig. I'm going to pronounce his name wrong because
is he called Craig Erasable?
I knew you could. Wessels. I was like, is
Vessels.
Wessels.
Like Kepler Wessels, who was a South African cricketer.
No, that would make sense because his family have been around since 1794 on this land. But he would like they had.
Are they proper voortrekkers? They've been here for a long time.
They've been there for a long time.
The Wessels family, I know them.
Yes. Well.
Oh, yeah.
They've been there for a long time, but it was him who was like, I want to do my own thing, and started planting grapes on this land, and really wanted to do something unique. So I'm curious to see what you think of this. Is 100% Cabernet.
Do you know I was in South Africa only 6 days ago?
Really?
I was in Joburg, yes. I was there. Yeah. I was on the way back from Botswana. I went to Botswana on safari with my family, but you can only fly there if you fly to Joburg and fly on again. Yeah. So I was in there for a bit. I love South Africa.
I was going to ask because, like, I was curious what you thought about South Africa. Like, we talk, a lot about like French wine or kind of like European food and wine. So yeah, I thought this would be fun to taste with you. I mean, have you had much Cabernet from South Africa?
I don't know. I've been to South Africa quite a lot. Sort of Cape Town and stuff like that. Been there for work, been for it's great because when I grew up, you couldn't go to South Africa. It was this amazing, beautiful place theoretically, riddled with racism and hideous government. And then it opened up, and then it was a place that you could go. And so it's a sort of it was off the menu until I was about 25, and then it was available. And it's amazing. It's now very dangerous. Well, not in the winelands, but in Pretoria and in the Cape Flats and whatever. But
I went there on my own to Cape Town in January.
You can't go to there on your own. A single woman in Cape Town, no, it's not safe.
I actually found it safer than LA during the pandemic, weirdly. But and I I think for food and wine, I actually wrote an article about how I think it's probably one of the most exciting cities in the world of food and wine. And actually, it's a real bastion of hope for the hospitality, considering not only did they suffer the pandemic, but also prohibition during lockdown.
Yeah.
But
was it Cape Town you were saying?
Yeah, well, whole South Africa too. Yeah, but like this is in Cape Town, which I was
the thing about the climate change there as well. Marvelous for the warmer for the grapes and everything. They've had terrible droughts though. And they have
so this is actually, I'm so glad you said this. So this 2018, it was the last of like the back-to-back droughts. So what you will get with this, like even though he's all about finesse and elegant, whatever, this is, I would say, like it does still have South African fruit. But hopefully it might bring you back to like Bordeaux with its like kind of like elegance and leafiness and just like purity and
smells posh.
Yeah, it smells posh. I mean, this is again from Lay and Wheeler and it's about £56, so it's not cheap, but I just think this is what you really want a claret to do.
That's very posh.
Yeah, told
That is why my wife doesn't like claret. that is what my wife calls piano legs.
Piano legs. Okay, explain.
The taste is it's a way of describing a certain kind of varnishy, woody tannin, old tannin. Well, it's only 2018, I see, but I mean, which I always, do you know, when you get older and time passes faster, 55 I am in a couple of months, which means I can draw on my pension. Okay, as you get older, it's true that time moves faster and your children are going. And so I look at wines and I go, 2018, that's fucking, it's 6 years ago. That's a little bit of age particularly in terms of a New World wine. Whereas, I sort of think, an old wine, unless it's 1978, it's not old. But that's got that sort of piano legs. That's kind of, it's a kind of whiff of Victorian furniture, isn't it?
Exactly. So, that cedar. Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is delicious. And I discovered after 10 years of marriage that my wife thinks it's disgusting.
But if you got that in a blind tasting, I don't think you would have thought South African Cabernet. I mean,
no, probably not. No.
So I thought,
and then it's also sort of caramelly and kind of lovely.
Yeah, and it does have that kind of like intense, almost like pastille, like blackcurrant fruit, and I love the perfume. I find it really succulent and juicy, and you can sometimes be disappointed with Bordeaux because like it's that match of like earthiness, that leafiness, that piano leg thing.
Piano leg or pencils.
Oh, pencils, the shaving, the graphite. Yeah. It has the graphite thing. But like for me, it just like it has that opulence, but also a slight like homage to like classicism, which I really like. So yeah, you can like but also again, he very much stuck to his own guns because people were like, Craig, what are you doing? This is
what are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
You should, because in Hemel and Aarde, everyone plants like Pinot Noir. Or Chardonnay. But this is, they're like, this is not warm enough for Cab. So, I'm glad you like this.
Delicious.